Magandang araw sa ating lahat, mga kaibigan, kababayan at mga kasama natin dito po sa Malaysia. Ito po si Nico Fabian. Once again, nandito po sa programa natin, Nick Talk Video Talk with Nico. I suppose marami na po, kung hindi lahat, marami na po na narinig kung ano nangyari kahapon dyan po sa Pilipinas. I suppose marami na. A lot of people heard about what happened, no? Especially mga Filipinos here in Malaysia, what happened in the Philippines yesterday. And ano talaga yung notisya po that created so-called panic to politicians, political parties in the Philippines. It was because of the, although it was already expected, but expected of the announcement. But it came very early po. Very early. And it came yesterday po. And the announcement was, it was officially announced by no less than the Vice President Inday Sara Duterte that she confirmed that she will be running in 2028 sa top position po as a candidate for presidential election po. Expected, everybody is looking forward, but of course, what I said, na-surprise ang mga tao, bakit ang timing talaga po today, or yesterday po. Lumabas si Inday Sara Duterte, hindi naman, I don't call it as a press conference because she made her announcement, and according to her, she will not be answering any questions po. So, let's say the coming days po, no? If Inday Sara Duterte will say more about her, not only plan po, but the confirmation of her candidacy to the post of president in the 2028 election po. Surprise na surprise mga tao, and mga politicians dyan po sa Pilipinas. And nakita natin ang social media, left and right po, no? Ang mga posting about the announcement of Inday Sara Duterte. Some were saying, maganda, good news for the supporters, and for the Filipinos, for ang bayan natin po. Maganda ang early announcement of the candidacy of Inday Sara Duterte, while others say that it's too early and it might create problems to Inday Sara Duterte. No? So yun mga reactions, and I have prepared mga video clips that I'm going to share with you po regarding itong sabihin natin ang reaction ng mga tao, not only dito sa Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, as well as dyan po sa Sabah and Sarawak, no? But also ang mga politician natin sa Pilipinas. Dito sa Malaysia, for example, not example na po, no? Since yesterday, since last night, I've been receiving a lot of messages asking me whether it is confirmed. I said it was it is confirmed that Inday Sara Duterte will be the candidate, no? Candidate for the 2028 presidential election. Confirmed yan po. And mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, some were saying na okay na yan. At least alam na natin po, now we can start doing, mga supporters doon, Inday Sara Duterte dito, they can start doing something and campaigning, convincing other Filipinos po to continue to support ang leadership ni Inday Sara Duterte. While others were saying, sana maghintay lang muna because of the experience of former Vice President Binay, Jojo Binay po. Remember, he made a early announcement that he will be running as a president during the 2022 presidential election. And because of that announcement po, ang dami mga issues raised against him po, while the Filipinos are heading towards the 2022 presidential election. 2022 president. Is it 2022 presidential election or 2016? Kailan yun? Nakalimutan ko na po. But anyway, that's it. That's the situation, no? Dyan sa Pilipinas ngayon. And yes, I said it wasn't a press conference. It was an announcement made by Inday Sara Duterte. And even the local press dyan po sa Manila, yesterday, they were surprised po, no? They were surprised. The announcement came about 11 something, no? And surprised din sila. In fact, a lot of the local media were expecting that maybe she will be announcing about her stepping down as the Vice President of the Philippines. No? Because they noticed itong mga local media men natin who attended the press briefing announcement of Inday Sara Duterte po, they were surprised to notice na even the seal of the Vice President was removed, no? Was removed. So they thought that there is a big possibility that she will be stepping down. But at the end of the day po, during the press conference po, si Inday Sara Duterte announced that she will be sabihin natin, kandidato po for the 2028 presidential elections. Masaya ang mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia dahil as what I said, when we talk about Malaysia po, mga Filipinos sa Malaysia, now Malaysia is a Duterte country. No? Duterte country based on the previous elections po. No? Previous elections. And nanalo talaga dito po si Tatay Digong. Tatay Digong during the 2026 presidential election. Dumating ang midterm elections sa 2019 yata yon, and then yon 2022 presidential election, and 2025 presidential midterm election na naman po. Lahat ng mga kandidato ni Tatay Digong they won po, no? Malaki and majority votes na kuha ang mga kandidato ni Tatay Digong or mga Dutertes po compared to the alyansa ng partido or coalition party ni President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. So, as what I said, Malaysia is a Duterte country. Duterte country po. Don't be surprised po, based on the election. But anyway, sige po, nandito tayo po ngayon and I'm going to share with you po ang mga video clips and some informations regarding ang mga updates, no, tungkol sa political updates po dyan sa Pilipinas. So, welcome kayo po dito sa programa natin, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. Especially ang mga Malaysian friends natin who has something to do with the Philippines or with Philippines. No? Yung mga businessmen, traders natin, and of course, mga kaibigan ng mga Malaysian friends natin po, mga Filipinos po who are both dito sa Malaysia and also dyan po sa Pilipinas. This program is dedicated para sa mga Filipinos talaga po dito sa Malaysia, so that they will be updated of what is happening dyan sa bayan natin. And of course, para sa mga overseas Filipino workers, kung nasan man kayo po, this program is for all of you. And not to forget na itong programa po is also dedicated sa mga Filipinos natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Ito lang po, si Nico Fabian would like to appeal and or hingi tayo ng konting sabihin natin tulong. If pwede lang po, please share, like, and follow itong programa natin, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, which you can find dyan po sa Facebook, dyan po sa YouTube, and of course sa Nick Talk at Nick Talk sa TikTok po. Bago lang tayo sa TikTok, and kaya nga I am asking kung pwede share, like, and follow itong programa natin po, no? So, okay, tuloy na natin ang mga issues. Let us not delay. And ito na po, on the second day of Chinese New Year yesterday, maingay ang politika sa Pilipinas. And now, on the third day po, still ang mga Filipinos as well as mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, we're eager, anxious to know what is the latest updates dyan po. Alright. So, to start with, Alright? Before I'll forget, I just want to pass this message po na si Tatay Digong, who is now under the custody of the International Criminal Court po, dyan po sa The Hague, no? He already waived ang ano niya po, saying that he will not be attending the hearing of charges scheduled on February 23 and February 27 po, dyan po sa The Hague, no? Dyan po sa The Hague, and he will not be attending po dahil he don't recognize ang he refuses to recognize ICC jurisdiction po. And for your information, just briefly, before going to our main topic, I just want to inform you po, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte has formally waived his right to attend the International Criminal Court ICC hearing on the confirmation of charges against him next week, February 23 to 27, ito po, against him next week in connection with his war on illegal drugs. In a signed notification dated February 17, the 80-year-old Duterte, or si Tatay Digong, said he will not attend the hearing from February 23 to 27 for several reasons, but mainly because he does not recognize the ICC's jurisdiction over him. The notification was submitted to the ICC pre-trial chamber on Wednesday, February 18 po. A copy of notification was released to mga local media dyan po sa Pilipinas. And according to Tatay Digong, nandito po, let me quote him. Sabi niya po, I do not recognize the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court over my person. I am a Filipino citizen forcibly pushed into a jet and rendition to the Hague in Netherlands in flagrant contravention of my country's constitution and of national sovereignty. My kidnapping was facilitated by the office of the incumbent president of the Philippines, no other than President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. or BBM, with a plane especially chartered for this purpose, sabi ni Digong. Duterte won't participate in ICC, remember that. He also slammed the claim that he oversaw a policy of extrajudicial killings as an outrageous lie. These claims have been peddled by my political opponents for many years, and as my nation knows, they are based on the word of individuals whose credibility has been thoroughly discredited, sabi ni Duterte. Alright? So yun po. Next week yun po, and he will not be attending. So yun, that's the first thing that I want to inform ang mga followers natin dito po sa channel natin. And shoutout muna tayo kay Kalito So, si Kangkang, dyan po ito sa Cebu. Mayroon din tayo dito po si Juni Yambao, Par Marquez, Al-Mujahid, Ibrahim. Also watching itong programa natin together si Jose Maria, Jose Marie. Also watching itong programa natin ni Tok Darian Talk with Nico. Salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam to each and every one of you. Godspeed, and I hope you're starting or you have started the day on Thursday po. Maganda ang start ninyo po. And tuloy-tuloy na sana ito po hanggang mamayang gabi and days to come po. Alright? So, going back to the issue natin na tungkol sa announcement ni Inday Sara Duterte that she will be running, nandito po, I will be sharing sharing video ang video clips that I have prepared. Nakuha ko din ito po sa social media, sa mga personal posting ng mga tao dyan po, ang mga reaction nila regarding ang announcement ni Inday Sara Duterte. Okay, to start with po, I would like to share with you po ang Ano ito po? Ang reaction, no? Reaction of attorney Vic Rodriguez. Attorney Vic Rodriguez po. Sandali. Nasaan na yun? Hold on, ha? Alright. The attorney Vic Rodriguez. And let's watch. Briefly lang ito po. And madami tayong video clip. So I'll try to squeeze in kung pwede lahat, ha? Kung pwede lahat. Nandito po. Please watch and listen to Attorney Vic Rodriguez.
Now that the Vice President, Inday Sara, the President, nagdeklara na ng kanyang kahandaan at pag-alay ng kanyang buong buhay sa pagsisilbi sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino na kailangan po natin siyang tulungan. Protektahan natin si VP Inday Sara Duterte sapagkat bukod sa mga harassment, bukod sa mga legal na pananakot katulad ng impeachment, pag-uusapan din mo natin yan. Mangungusap din po tayo sa mga mambabatas dyan sa House of Representatives, dyan din all the way hanggang Senado. Sapagkat mayroong malaki po yung implication ng pag-anunsyong ito ni Inday Sara, the President, ng kanyang kahandaan. Now,
Alright, yan po ang statement or reaction ni Attorney Vic Rodriguez. And next video clip that I'm going to share with you po is coming from Rowena Guanzon po. Very vocal din ito, no? Si Rowena Guanzon, very vocal din siya. And let's see, asan na yun si Madam, Rowena Guanzon. Hold on, saan na to? Medyo nahirapan tayo. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this. Alright? Nandito po. Parang hindi yata ito, no? Okay. Nandito.
mga kababayan, nag-declare na po for presidency si Vice President Sara. At nag-declare din si Risa Ontiveros na kung papalarin siyang unity na kandidato din for president. So far, VP Sara versus Risa Ontiveros. Kanina ba yun?
Kanina kayo, VP Sara or Risa Ontiveros po. Obvious na obvious. Alam na natin po ang answer. And you yourself knows the answer. Kayo na bahala po, no? Kayo na bahala po. That's your right. Whether you choose this person or the other person po. And Amy Marcos, Senator Amy Marcos po, nandito din. Ang brief reaction niya po when asked by the local media to say something about the announcement of Inday Sara Duterte. Hold on po. Okay. Alright.
Ngayon, anong tingin nyo magiging epekto nito?
Maganda yan kasi nagbibigyan ng pag-asa ang lahat ng tao dahil napakahirap ng panahon, ang gulo-gulo ng gobyerno, napaka-corrupt, wala pa rin charge. Talagang ang tao galit na at naghihirap. Kaya maganda na kahit papano meron tayong pag-asa, meron tayong pinanghahawakan.
Alright, yan po si Senator Amy Marcos. Diyan talaga po, supporting si all the way, giving her support to Inday Sara Duterte po, no? Inday Sara Duterte. The next video clip that I'm going to share with you po, nandito. Nandito po. Let's watch itong video clip. Sandali, Saan ba yun? Minsan, ang ano natin, medyo, alright? 5:05. Mayroon tayo dito 5:05. Saan yun 5:05? Sandali po. I'm sorry, but I have to do it slowly para klaro mas decente po. No? 5:05. Sandali. 5:05. Nandito po si 5:05. Nandito po si 5:05. Sandali. Alright, nandito. Let's watch and listen ang mga iba-iba pang mga reaction na coming from our politicians po dyan sa Pilipinas.
Going on democracy, for me, the earlier na lahat ng kandidato ay mag-announce better. Bakit? Kasi mas mahihimayin lahat. Mas mantay ang kanilang kilos. Of course, I wish her well.
Ang ina ng sambayan ng Pilipino, ang ina ng Republika ng Pilipinas, ang ilaw ng ating tahanan, Inday Sara, President.
Pues, sabi natin, isa siya na maituturing na politician. Politician na ang iniisip ay ang susunod na eleksyon. Ang iniisip ay yung pansarili na interes, hindi ang taong bayan. So yun lang po ang nakikita natin kung bakit kaya kailangan niyang magdeklara na siya ay tatakbo na sa pagkapangulo sa susunod na eleksyon.
Nag-declare na po for presidency si Vice President Sara. At nag-declare din si Rizal Tiberos na kung papalarin siyang unity na kandidato din for president. So far, VP Sara versus Rizal Tiberos. Kanino kayo?
Para maramdaman ng mga Pinoy ang burnout.
So yung Sara ay itandem na pag-usapan niyo na po yan sa Pilipinas.
Wala, ako lang yun.
Ako kayo actively, sir. Nasusulong niyo po actively. Sir Sara.
Oo, lahat. Pag umiikot ako sa ibang bansa, yung lagi sinasabi ko, ang talaga sa akin ay panahon na para maramdaman ng mga Pinoy ang burnout.
Sabi ng mga paborito natin mga philosophers, tayo po ay may free will. So, gamitin po natin.
Senator Robin. Ay, sadali lang naman.
Sure, si Robin talaga. Well, kung sa bagay, talaga naman forever running mate ko naman talaga yan. Takbo, gapang, luhod, patayo, paupo, hindi naman siya kailanman iliwanag. Ayun.
So, willing kayo mag-VP kay VP Sara pag tumakbo siya sa 2028?
Basta sunod-sunuran ako doon.
So, open, ma'am. Open to VP. To be your
Siya nag-announce, kaya muna siya. Kayo talaga.
Pero,
Binabato. Hindi na binabato. Tatakbo akong presidente.
Nagulat ka ba?
Nagulat ako sa timing. But then, considering that the impeachment case, resurrection is imminent, then this is the perfect timing for her.
Yeah.
Hindi ba?
Yeah, I guess a lot of people were looking into saying they're not surprised. Alam naman natin ang tatakbo. At least that's what we think. Pero yung timing, nangyari nga bago ang impeachment, hearing ng impeachment complaint sa House of Representatives. But also on one side, at least it's good. Somebody already declared, right? 1 year and 3 months prior to the elections, kung tama ang aking.
Ito, meron akong theory. Dahil lang sa Marites ito, na mayroon daw mga ilang congressman na nahihikayat ng huwag bumoto para sa impeachment. Oo. Ang kapalit nun, hindi sila pag-iinitan, susuportahan, at dahil sila kinakabahan, dahil wala pang katapat si VP Sara at mataas siya sa survey, parang yun ang balak nila, mag-a-abstain or mag-a-absent.
Interesting.
Pwedeng ganun din. Kaya, kailangan niyang i-ano yun, panindigan.
Walang ambagan dyan, ma'am.
Walang ambagan ako. Yung kilo lang, itong kilo lang, hindi naman kailangan 20. Abstains?
Yes or no?
Either you are for the impeachment or you're not. Either the charges are valid for you or it's not. Huwag you abstain kasi either you believe it or you don't. Either you're for it or you're against it.
Paano iba sila mag-isip? Either I make it or I don't.
Yun na nga. Yun talaga yung tinatawag na political survival.
Hindi natin tatakbo akong president.
Sara Duterte has declared, maintain pa natin.
Alright, yun pa, narinig natin ang some of the mga comments, no? Comments ng mga politicians natin dyan po sa Pilipinas tungkol sa announcement ni Inday Sara Duterte. Ano ba ito po? For your information pala, no? I just want to inform you, yung mga Filipinos dyan po sa Sabah, they look at the situation ngayon po kay Inday Sara Duterte's sabihin natin announcement mo, no? It will serve as a warning already to the congressmen, both the mga congressmen po at saka ang senador natin po, no? Now, this is the time for them to make ang stand nila po, no? Ang stand nila. Whether they are going to support ang impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte or not, no? And malalaman na natin po, no? Malalaman na. Siguro, I would say it's a good strategy, political strategy po, no? Ni Inday Sara Duterte, para she will also know kung sino-sino talaga will be supporting her, and sino hindi. Because whether we like it or not po, no? Whether we like it or not, ang mga voters, mga Filipinos po will be watching now. Who will go for the impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte? And they will mark, no? They will mark kung sino-sino yung kontra kay Inday Sara Duterte. Come 2028, then they will do the verdict. Give the verdict po. Yun po. So mga congressmen, mga politicians natin, mga senador natin po, they have to think also, especially mga re-electionists, no? Congressmen and senators po. Whether we like it or not, the President, Bongbong Marcos, is coming to a stage wherein, na siya po, is becoming a lame duck president. Lame duck president po. And if you look at the survey, dyan po sa political scenario natin sa Pilipinas po, since the past few years, months, and the recent one po, sa taas pa rin ang pangalan ni Inday Sara Duterte. If election will be held today, I'm pretty sure Inday Sara will come out victorious po. Come out victorious. And nandyan pa yun po ang sabihin natin ang galit ng mga Filipinos, no? Especially ang mga ordinaryong Filipinos po, no? Dahil dyan sa flood control projects po, dahil ang presyo mga essential items natin po, no? Still increasing, ang electric bills, water bills natin po, mataas pa rin po, no? Ang health benefits ng mga Filipinos po, sa PhilHealth po, problema, malaking problema. Ang bigas natin po, sabi 20 pesos per kilo, nasaan na po? Ang sabi natin mastermind ng flood control projects, ang eskwelahan natin, ang mga rooms natin, ang mga statement made by our incumbent administration, ang dami silang mga sabihin natin na empty promises. And nag-notice na talaga itong mga ordinaryong Filipino po. We are fed up. No? Ako din po, I'm fed up with what is happening. No? Although sabi ko sana, looking at the situation ngayon sa Pilipinas, ang exchange rate lang natin po. Huwag na tayo pumunta sa US dollar. Punta na lang tayo dito sa Malaysia sa ringgit po. O the exchange rate, maganda yung para sa amin if we are sending money sa Pilipinas po. No? Pero kung ang exchange rate natin and value natin ng peso is going down po, kawawa ang bayan natin. Kawawa ang mga Pilipinas po. Wala nang value. Look at our tourism. Look at our tourism. Ilan na lang po, no? Ilan na lang mga foreign arrivals dyan po sa Pilipinas. Last year alone po, ng top, among Asian countries po, ang top is Malaysia. They managed to record a total of foreign tourist arrivals at, if I'm not mistaken, 28 million. Followed by, I think, Vietnam with 26 million. No? And then, nandyan po ang Thailand, nandyan na po ang Singapore, and pinaka, sa baba talaga po, ang Pilipinas. Ang Pilipinas po. Grabe. We have problems with itong West Philippine Sea po. Now, what if something will happen between the Thais, economic ties or trading ties natin with China. Who will suffer? Who will suffer po? Tayo pa rin po, no? Hindi ang mga politicians natin, hindi ang mga congressmen natin, hindi ang mga senador natin po. Anytime they can fly, leave the country. May pera sila po. Pero tayo, mga ordinaryong Filipino po, we have to stay. Either we go to Luzon, Visayas, or Mindanao po. Pero sa Pilipinas pa rin po. Mahirap pa rin po. Mahirap pa rin ang trabaho. What will happen if magaling din ang China sa atin? I am a Filipino. I love my country. No? But I don't want to see, dahil lang sa mga politicians natin po, we are going to encounter or face a problem, economic problem po. Trading. Ang trading partner natin, ang China po, is if something will happen to this ties natin, bilateral ties natin in trading, kawawa tayo, mga Filipino po. Kawawa tayo, mga farmers natin. Mga bananas natin po, mga pineapples, no? We are sending it to China. What if China will stop accepting itong mga fruits natin? Who will be affected? Ang mga Filipino po. Ang mga Filipino. Fed up na fed up. Whether we like it or not po, ang mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, we know for a fact that we also agree that we don't trust anymore ang gobyerno ng Pilipinas ngayon po. But the government cannot blame ang the way we think, mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia. And of course, many other Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas and other overseas Filipino workers po. They don't trust anymore because of what happens sa flood control projects po. What happens sa national budget natin 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. Apektado talaga ang mga Filipinos po. So sana lang po, we'll be able to solve this problem natin sa Pilipinas po. So we can start moving po. The year of 2026, year of the fire horse po, we are expecting challenges. We are expecting changes. Bigger changes po. Sana lang po itong changes will lead to a better or level up ang buhay ng mga Filipinos po. Level up ang Pilipinas po. Sana lang po. Alright. But anyway, sige, let's continue with our video clips muna, no? Ang video clips natin. So, let me share with you itong brief din mensahe ni Inday Sara Duterte po. Inday Sara Duterte. Hold on, Hold on. Nandito yan po. Hold on. Let's watch and listen to this.
Mga kababayan, ibalik natin ang tapang at malasakit para sa Diyos, sa bayan, at para sa bawat pamilya Pilipino. Ako si Sara Duterte. Tatakbo bilang Pangulo ng Pilipinas. So parang
Yan po ang announcement ni Inday Sara Duterte po kahapon. And kahapon din po, mayroon din the fourth impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte po. Mayroon the fourth impeachment complaint, and this time around po, si Congressman Abante, si Congressman Abante, yan po nag-support ang fourth impeachment complaint ni Inday Sara Duterte. And malalaman natin po, we will know next week, Monday ba, Tuesday, or Wednesday po. Let's watch and listen itong report na mayroon tayo dito po para sa inyong lahat tungkol sa fourth impeachment kay Inday Sara Duterte. Saan na yun? Hold on, Nandito po ang report. Let's watch and listen to this. Hold on, okay, medyo alright.
apat na impeachment complaint si Vice President Sara Duterte. Inihain ito ng isang attorney na Nathaniel Cabrera sa Office of the House Secretary General. Inendorso ito ni Manila 6th District Representative Benny Abante at ni House Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega. Kapapasok lang po na balita, sinampahan ng ika-4 na impeachment complaint si Vice President Sara Duterte. Inihain ito ng isang attorney Nathaniel Cabrera sa Office of the House Secretary General. Inendorso ito ni Manila 6th District Representative Benny Abante at ni House Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega.
Yan po, no? Yan po, narinig natin na the fourth impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte. Nalalaman, we will know po what will happen po, no? Next week. Ang ano ito ngayon po, no? Mayroon sila dyan po sa Kongreso po. We heard na some of the congressmen, no? They are looking at fast-tracking mode, no? Ang fast-tracking mode po, ibig sabihin po, they will get the one-third. One-third of the congressmen will sign a vote for the impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. I-fast-track yun po as what they did last year, no? Sa impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte, nakuha sila. Instead of one-third po, sobra pa sa one-half. I think 200 plus. Because we have a total of I think we have a total of 316, 318 na congressmen. And one-third of that is around 104, 105, 106 if I'm not mistaken. But narinig natin, ngayon po, no? Diyan po sa Kongreso, mga congressmen po, narinig natin na mahirap makuha yon one-third votes coming from the congressman po, no? Mahirapan sila po dahil plus ito pang announcement ni Inday Sara Duterte po, survival nito po ng mga congressman. So if hindi sila makuha yung one-third vote, and that is the fast-track mode, ibig sabihin, they will go for the next mode. Ang next mode po, ibig sabihin, it will go ang impeachment complaint, 4 na yun po next week. They have to go to the Justice Committee of the House of Representatives, and ang Justice Committee po will sit down, have some hearings to determine sufficiency in form and sufficiency in substance ang mga impeachment complaint ni Inday Sara or against Inday Sara Duterte. Just like what happened po, ang proseso, dumaan din po ang impeachment complaint against President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos the other day po, no? And let's see what will happen. At kung sakali po, it will go up dyan po sa Senado, then tingnan natin po, no? What will happen po. So there are also rumors na kung it will pass Justice Committee and it will be brought to the plenary ng House of Representatives po, and they are going to vote, no? They are going to vote po, baka there will be a change of leadership, change of speaker dyan po sa House of Representatives. And same fear also, kung sakali mag-akyat itong impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte sa Senado po, narinig na natin last 1-2 weeks ago po, no? Na somebody is cooking ang change of leadership dyan po sa Senado. Ibig sabihin, replace si Senator Vicente Soto or si Tito Sen. Yon po, no? Yon po ang ano. But some people are saying, hindi ito matuloy ang impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte. For me po, impeachment trial po, sana wag na po, ang dami tayong problema, no? Let's wait until 2028, no? Let's wait until 2028. Ang dami pa tayong problema for the President, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, to gain back the confidence, trust of the people. Siguro po, for me, this is my own opinion. What BBM should do now is make sure that kung serious siya sa to solve the problem of corruption, particularly dyan po sa flood control projects po, no? I think the best thing for him to gain back the trust of the Filipinos po is for him to make sure that itong mga mastermind will be put behind bars. Ang problema lang po, baka siya din ang one of the mastermind. Yun ang po, baka lang yun po, no? back, alam niyo po. Because a lot of Filipinos now, many of the Filipinos are not happy, especially itong Blue Ribbon Committee and ICI, no? Na-recommend na sila po for kaso, plunder ka, malversation pa to some people. But si former Speaker Romualdez, wala nangyari po. Recommendation for further investigation na po. And marami na mga Filipinos po knows that Saldico, the former congressman, cannot do anything that big if without the blessing coming from the Speaker, if without the blessing coming from higher than the Speaker. Yun po, that's how Filipinos are looking at it. And we are talking about trillions of pesos dito po. We are not talking about 1 million, 2 million, or 1 billion po. We are talking about trillions of pesos. Taxpayers' money yan po. Taxpayers' money yan po. That we have to seriously ponder po. Alright, another video clip that I want to share with you po, ang reaction din ni Harry Roque, Attorney Harry Roque. Let's watch and listen itong reaction ni Attorney Harry Roque.
I will be very clear, I have not had the occasion to talk to VP Sara since the announcement. But I'm sure this has to do with the impeachment. Magkakalinawan na tayo kung sino talaga ang pwedeng pagkatiwalaan ni VP Sara. We all know na walang kahit sino, if elections were to be held today, that can defeat Inday Sara in an honest to goodness elections. No? So I think the decision to declare her candidacy now is to give notice to members of Congress and the Senate that she will be a contender for the 2028 elections and that they better watch out. No? Because kung as usual, sila ay ipoboto because pinili ang kanilang mga boto, think again, because this woman will almost certainly become president if honest elections are to be held.
So, I understand what you're saying na kung pinili ang boto, this is a reminder to you. But at the same time, the other side of the coin seems to sound like, watch out. Kasi kung manalo ito, patay kayo lahat. Papawiyan kayo. That's also how it sounds.
There's nothing wrong with that because that's politics. We all know na may mga malalakas na kandidato, may mga mahihinang kandidato, at kung sila ay nagpapabili ng kanilang mga boto, think again, because the politician's concern is always staying in office, and when you're enemy of the soon-to-be president, that's not good politics.
Alright, na yun po, narinig natin kay Attorney Harry Roque. This time around, I will share with you another video clip coming from Professor, no? Political Science dyan po sa UP. Si Professor Eris Arugay. Eris Arugay. Let's watch and listen itong interview sa kanya po, no? Interview sa kanya. Sino ba ito nagawang interview? Sandali po, ha? Hold on. Hold on, ha? Karen Davila ba ito? Is it the Karen Davila?
Was her characteristic, no? It wasn't like Jojo
Alright,
Binay.
tingnan natin po. I'm trying to get si sandali po. Hold on, ha? Tingnan natin. Okay, ito po si interview sa kanya po, no? You hold on. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this po.
Carmina last week, if I'm not mistaken. And like you, I was like, okay, one, it's not something surprising. I don't think anyone was surprised. But in terms of timing, Katrina earlier mentioned that this announcement somehow predates or at least is getting ahead, I think, of the likely events that will happen, both with the impeachment of the impeachment complaint faced by the Vice President again in the House, and if it will be processed and it will be deemed substantive and acceptable, will go through a trial. Let's remember that this was the process that was stopped by a Supreme Court decision. And the second event would be the historic proceedings or trial of former President Duterte. So I think it's getting ahead of these events, taking charge of the narrative, which is, I think, has been working out for her so far. And in terms of advantages, as I mentioned, yes. So rather than reactive, it's being proactive of the likely things. Because, Karina, anything then could be framed as, for example, the impeachment process against her, that this is an obstacle. This is preventing me from being president, or at least from running for president in 2028. On the other hand, the trial of Duterte is also trying to shape the narrative that the former president facing this unprecedented trial and charges, despite the fact that from the narrative of the Dutertes, that they have done nothing but contribute and make the country better, and yet you have a former president facing charges of the crimes against humanity in an international tribunal.
Alright, yun po si Aris Arugay giving her or his opinion po, no? Ang opinion niya po. And okay, next is mayroon pa yata isa pa, no? Isa pa.
We were just talking about this, Carmina, last week, if I'm not mistaken. And like you, I was like, okay, one, it's not something surprising. I don't think anyone was surprised. But in terms of timing, Katrina earlier mentioned that this announcement somehow predates, or at least is getting ahead, I think, of the likely events that will happen, both with the impeachment of the impeachment complaint faced by the Vice President again in the House, and if it will be processed and it will be deemed substantive and acceptable, will go through a trial. Let's remember that this was the process that was stopped by a Supreme Court decision. And the second event would be the historic proceedings or trial of former President Duterte. So I think it's getting ahead of these events, taking charge of the narrative, which is, I think, has been working out for her so far. And in terms of advantages, as I mentioned, yes. So rather than reactive, it's being proactive of the likely things. Because, Karina, anything then could be framed as, for example, the impeachment process against her, that this is an obstacle. This is preventing me from being president, or at least from running for president in 2028. On the other hand, the trial of Duterte is also trying to shape the narrative that the former president facing this unprecedented trial and charges, despite the fact that from the narrative of the Dutertes, that they have done nothing but contribute and make the country better, and yet you have a former president facing charges of the crimes against humanity in an international tribunal.
Alright, yan po ang opinion ni Professor Aris Arugay. Now, meron pa tayo dito po interview ni Karen Davila, another political strategist, no? Si Alan Herman. Alan Herman po, let's watch and listen to this po. Sandali, ha? Hold on. Ito po. Alan Herman on Congress ba yun? Hold on po. Sandali po. 146. Let's watch and listen to this po. Si Alan Herman. So, whether this is to the advantage of Inday Sara Duterte, an early announcement or not. Let's watch and listen.
I mean, specifically in Sara Duterte's case, was it a good move for her that she declared early at this point?
Again, historical data does show that candidates who announce earliest do not actually end up winning the race if you're just basing it agnostically on data points. Hindi talaga nangyayari yun. Pag una ka nag-announce, the chances of you making it or winning just based on historicals and data are not good for you. However, on VP Indai's case, she is the early front runner. There's no denying it. Let's get that out of the way para hindi rin tayo mabash ng mga commenters. We do acknowledge that fact. As far as the timing of her announcement is concerned, she herself earlier said that most likely she was going to make this announcement in the year or early next year. Parang napaaga. And political observers like me, clearly this is a way to steal the thunder away from her upcoming impeachment complaints and upcoming impeachment hearings. There were talks last week na Wednesday daw mag-file na uusap yung first impeachment case against her. So probably she tried to get ahead of that, or her team tried to get ahead of that by declaring early. So now, she achieved two things. Number one, nakalasag siya ng tinatawag nating narrative anchor. So hindi na siya beleaguered vice president. Presidential frontrunner na siya. That's one, no? She shifted that narrative. Number two, she hung a negative on her opponents. And those are the dreams of communicators. Shifting a narrative and hanging a negative on your critics. Bakit? Kasi anything they do to her now, kahit anong bago sa kanya ng critic, sasabihin niya, it's because I'm the front runner for the presidential race. And I announced already, politika ako. So, good one-upmanship and good political chess.
Alright, yan po, si Alan Herman. So, sa kanya po, is one step ahead, no? To the advantage of Inday Sara Duterte for announcing her candidacy early. Hindi kagaya kay Binay. He said the case of former Vice President Jojo Binay and Inday Sara Duterte is not the same, no? Because si Inday Sara Duterte po, very consistent ang leading sa mga survey dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, yan po, sabi niya, to the advantage of Inday Sara Duterte. And mayroon pa dito po, I think this will be the last from Alan Herman. Hold on po, no? Hold on.
Clearly, the target, those were the target audience naman talaga. Tingin ko, everybody knew she was going to run one way or another. I don't think anybody was really shocked or fell off their chairs or dropped their forks when she made that announcement. Alam naman natin yan, political given yan. But clearly, it wasn't an announcement so much as it was a message. I am here, I'm running. Congressman, kung maglalabas kayo ng dumi sa akin, or if you're going to help in this investigation and really try your hardest to nail me down, you've got 2.5 years, you've got 2 years, and then it's going to be me. So think very, very carefully about your political future before you participate in these hearings and on how you vote. And for the Senate, the same thing.
Yes, what about senators who are re-electionists?
Senators who are re-electionists, number one, and rumors, baseless rumors, born out of very slippery and sticky minds, di ba? Who are saying na, uy, napansin niyo ba si Senator Bam tsaka si Senator Risa suddenly are taking a soft stance on Senator Bongo and Senator Bato de la Rosa. Hindi daw sila pwede mag-iingat. Dapat yung trials dito sa Pilipinas, baka nagkakaroon na ng alliance. So, baka they're trying to move these senators under fire right now for corruption allegations. So there's that also that moment. So perhaps the Duterte camp and the strategists there, they did the math and they looked at the chessboard and they said, tingin ko dapat ipaalala natin kung sino tayo. Muscle flexing is what we call it.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin si Alan Herman po. So, yun ang sitwasyon ngayon sa Pilipinas, no? Sa Pilipinas. And, of course, we'll be waiting what will happen or kung may mga announcement ba today. And tomorrow is Friday. And, of course, next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, may session yan po ang Congress and of course ang Senado po. No? Let's see what will happen. And of course, si Nico, I will continue to monitor ang situation dyan po sa Pilipinas and should anything erupt, no? May mga bagong developments dyan po, I'll make sure ang mga followers natin dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico po, I'll make sure that you are going to be properly informed po. I won't be able to give you the breaking news, but definitely, ang news that I'm going to share dito po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, it will still be fresh. It will still be fresh. So siguro nandito na lang muna ang programa natin for Thursday, February 19 na po. This is the third day of Chinese New Year. First day of Ramadan. Puasa po. No? And the second day of Lenten season ng mga Kristiyano po. So, okay. Sana po mga Chinese kapatid, kaibigan, and kababayan natin po, and all other celebrants ng Chinese New Year po, you're enjoying your day because your celebration, because it will last for 15 days po. And last day of Chinese New Year will be on March 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, and we call it Chap Gome. Chap Gome po, no? And Lenten season, this is the second day, and we will end after 40 days po, we call it Easter Sunday. While first day ng Ramadan ngayon po, and after 30 days, it will end ang fasting period ng mga kapatid natin who are embracing the Islamic faith, and they are going to celebrate itong Hari Raya Eid al-Fitr. In the meantime, for these two groups po, doing the experiencing or sabihin natin, observing itong fasting month natin lahat. Let's make it solemn and a happy one for each and every one of us. So with this, Nico Fabian once again would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, and I love you.